Madeline Carter sat by the window of her quiet suburban home, watching the rain streak down the glass. The storm outside mirrored the turmoil within her. She had been married to Jacob for 10 years, and while their life seemed perfect from the outside, a beautiful home, 2 children, stability, something was missing. She had once been deeply in love with Jacob, but over the years, their connection had faded. His long hours at the office, his growing detachment, and the way he barely noticed her anymore left her feeling invisible. The days passed in a monotonous routine, her existence reduced to being a wife and mother. Then, she met Ryan Sullivan. It had started innocently enough. Their kids attended the same school, and they often ran into each other at parent-teacher meetings and soccer games. Ryan was charming, attentive, and everything Jacob no longer was. He noticed the little things, how her hair fell over her shoulder, how her laughter faded when no one was looking. One evening, after yet another missed dinner with Jacob, Madeline found herself sitting in a quiet cafe, sipping coffee alone. Ryan walked in, noticed her, and joined her. The conversation flowed easily, as if they had known each other forever. He made her laugh in a way she hadn't in years. And when he reached across the table and lightly touched her hand, something inside her ignited. That night, as she lay beside Jacob, who was fast asleep, she felt a pang of guilt. But that guilt wasn't strong enough to outweigh the thrill she felt around Ryan. The stolen moments became more frequent. A touch here, a lingering glance there. Then, one evening, when they found themselves alone after a school fundraiser, Ryan kissed her. It was slow, passionate, and filled with all the longing she had suppressed for years. Madeline knew it was wrong, yet she couldn't stop herself. She craved the attention, the feeling of being wanted. With Ryan, she felt alive. Weeks turned into months, and their affair deepened. They met in secret, shared whispered conversations, and exchanged messages filled with longing. But the more she gave in to Ryan, the more guilt gnawed at her. Jacob began to notice. He wasn't blind to the way she smiled at her phone or how she seemed distant even when they were in the same room. One evening, he confronted her. "Madeline, is there something you need to tell me?" Her heart pounded. She wanted to deny it, to lie, but she saw the pain in his eyes. Tears filled her own as she whispered, "I don't know who I am anymore, Jacob. I feel lost." His face hardened. "Are you having an affair?" The silence stretched between them before she finally nodded. Jacob clenched his jaw, his entire body rigid. "How long?" "Months," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. The betrayal in his eyes cut her deeper than she expected. "Why?" he asked, his voice breaking. "Because I was lonely," she sobbed. "Because I felt invisible. And Ryan, he saw me." Jacob exhaled sharply, running a hand through his hair. "I thought I was doing everything for us, for you, for the kids. But I see now that I was pushing you away." She hadn't expected that response. She had prepared for anger, for hatred. But there was only sadness. "I don't know if I can forgive this, Madeline," he admitted. "But I still love you." Her heart ached. She had spent so much time searching for something she thought she had lost, only to realize it had been there all along, buried beneath years of neglect. She ended things with Ryan that night. It was painful, but she knew she couldn't continue living a double life. The road to healing with Jacob was long and uncertain. Trust had been shattered, but he was willing to try if she was. And as Madeline sat by the window once again, watching another storm roll in, she knew that love, no matter how broken, still had the power to mend, if both hearts were willing.